Welcome back to Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I'm really excited right now because to my right, I have a very distinguished gentleman. His name is Bob Patterson. He is running for Congress in the 1st District in New Jersey, and I think it's awesome that the 1st District is right here in South Jersey where we live, and he's on the Republican ticket. He's up against Norcross. His name is Bob Patterson, and he joins me on Morning Coffee. Good morning, Bob.
Mark, thank you for having me.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. So I want to talk about you. All right, we're going to get to the politics and we're going to get to all that stuff because there's plenty of that to talk about, but I think it's important to get to know you a little bit first. You are from Cherry Hill.
From Cherry Hill.
South Jersey, born and raised.
Absolutely.
Love it.
South Jersey, born and raised.
Cherry Hill West.
Cherry Hill West. Earlton School, Heritage Junior High School.
Love this.
Earlton Pool.
Love this. Earlton Pool and a varsity letter swimmer at West.
At West.
Yeah.
Particularly a diver. Diving was my specialty.
That was your thing.
That was my specialty.
And then you went on from there and you went to like school after school and just continued to rack up all of these degrees, it looked like.
I did, and found a girl from Delaware County, over in Pennsylvania, married her in '79. We had 2 of our children here.
Okay.
We bought our first house in Voorhees back in the '80s.
Okay.
Had two of our children were born here, and in the late '80s we left the area to go down to D.C.
Okay.
Where I worked largely, pursued a career as a public policy writer and researcher.
Okay. Now, is that what pretty much like kind of kindled the fire to get into it, or was that, kind of by chance?
I was actually asked to run against Jim Florio
years ago.
Back in '86.
Okay.
I was just barely 30. Well, was I 33 at the time, 32 at the time, and I had my 2 boys, and didn't think it was quite, I would be the sacrificial lance against Jim Florio.
Right.
Jim Florio was extremely well liked in
He was
South
popular.
Jersey.
Yeah,
he got Democratic, he got Republican votes, he got independent votes. So it didn't quite really appeal to me at the time, but I would say the last 10 years particularly, I started thinking about this.
Yeah.
Because I had worked in the Bush 43 administration. I worked for Governor Corbett. I had started writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer. I was a guest contributor to the Inquirer, where I wrote more and more about Pennsylvania and New Jersey and Philadelphia issues. Mm-hmm. And started writing about why haven't Republicans been able to win in northern blue states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania, especially at the presidential level. So I would map out a number of policy issues that I thought would help the Republicans, particularly that centered on delivering economic tangibles for middle income voters.
Right.
Because since the 1990s, both parties have really ignored your basic middle income, average, everyday American.
Right.
They have put all their stock, the leaders of the country have put all their stock in high finance and globalist trade. And they have ignored the 3 sectors of the economy that really deliver jobs and are growth drivers for average people, meaning domestic manufacturing, transportation infrastructure, and defense industries.
Okay.
And those 3 sectors have really been ignored for the last 25 years. And the leaders of both parties think that TPP, more globalist trade deals, and more, let the banks do whatever they want. Right. That's going to save America, and it hasn't in the last 25 years.
Yeah, well, we know that. We give the banks any responsibility, and we know what's going to happen. I mean, we were all around in 2007 and 2008 when they propped up all those bad loans. Like, look, I know that things have to change, but I don't want that change to come from Wall Street or the big banks. And I think that what you're trying to do is put the jobs back first.
Absolutely.
And then let it all kind of comes full circle from there. You start with the jobs, your economy level gets raised because people are now working again, and it works that way. Rather than trying to put in different mandates or programs or funding in different directions, how about we create some jobs and get money into people's pockets so they can put it back into their communities?
Well, it's not just any jobs. We need to get manufacturing jobs.
Okay.
Manufacturing jobs have historically paid higher wages than service jobs.
Right.
And they, in many cases, you can be a high school grad and you can raise a family on a manufacturing wage.
Right.
That's been historically the case.
Right.
And what we've done in the last 25 years, we have shipped somewhere between 6 and 8 million of these jobs overseas.
It's too many.
Starting with NAFTA and all
Right.
these other trade deals, and giving Wall Street. I mean, we repealed Glass-Steagall, the common sense New Deal firewall that separated investment from commercial banking, which really stands at the root of much of the crisis of 2008.
Right, but that was established years before.
Well, that was done under Clinton with the help of the Republicans, because both parties are responsible for this. This happened in the early 90s.
Right.
When they ushered in the globalist trade deals, when they sort of put banks on the fast track.
Right.
And repealed Glass-Steagall. And so this is when, you want to call it the Washington-New York axis of power, put all their hope in Wall Street and globalist trade. And it has backfired enormously, particularly on, I would say, not the bottom, take 2/3 of the income distribution down. Now, it is done, if you're on Wall Street, if you work for a multinational corporation, you're doing fine.
Right.
But for 2/3 of the population, it has really, really suffered. It has really hurt them. I just saw a report in The Nation magazine, no right-wing publication, that said that 30 years ago, the United States was #1 in wages. #1 in wages 30 years ago. Today, it's 15th.
I was going to say we're out of the top
15th.
10.
We're 15th. And New Jersey has really been hurt. We have lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs since 1990 in New Jersey. That's 1,000 manufacturing jobs every single month. And then even in New Jersey's first district, in the last 10 years, our labor force has shrunk. There are less people working today than 10 years ago. There are more people out of work. And all the economic indicators of New Jersey, when we lag behind northern New Jersey in terms of household income, job creation, we also lag behind the collar counties of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So we have really been left behind. The entrenched political class has left South Jersey behind, and I am running because I want to revitalize South Jersey through manufacturing to deliver the South Jersey that I remember growing up in.
Yeah, and this is why I think that you're going to catch a lot of popularity around here, because you know what? Down here in South Jersey, those of us who have lived here our whole lives and been around, we feel neglected because everything is always geared towards North Jersey, and we've got some real serious issues right here. And that's, kind of what I want to ask is, how do we do that? How do we get those manufacturing jobs back?
Mark, that's a very good question. The first thing we need to do is that a major part of my platform is reviving Navy shipbuilding in Camden. Camden used to have the most productive private sector labor or shipyard in the world, New York Shipbuilding. Mm. It was closed down in the late 60s, early 70s. But our Navy, since the end of the Cold War, has really downsized. We have a smaller Navy today than we've had in a generation.
Right.
We're down to about 270 ships. We really need a 30-year building program to maintain our Navy supremacy.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're talking about ships that probably need a lot of renovations and work on them. The existing ships need work on top of us needing to add ships.
Absolutely.
So,
we need a 30-year Navy building program.
Wow.
30 years. We got to do this over a 30-year period.
And do it right.
And do it right. We have to open up 2 shipyards.
Okay.
One of those shipyards ought to be Camden. And the reason it ought to be Camden, first of all, the location is ideal, right there on the Delaware River. But we got to open up that shipyard. New Jersey has historically, we have sent to D.C. for years more in tax dollars than we get back. Basically, we are sending to Washington, to Congress, about $23 billion every year, more than we get back. We're shortchanged by $23 billion.
I hate
so we are a payer state. We're a payer state. In a sense, they owe, we've been carrying the federal government for 40 years.
Yeah.
It's the time they carry us.
Yeah, they owe us something, right?
Not necessarily owe us something, but the point is, for the future of the country, our Navy supremacy requires a Navy building program of this size. And if we brought Navy shipbuilding to Camden, that would be 10,000 jobs.
I was just going to ask.
10,000 jobs. If we added it over, if we brought Navy shipbuilding also back to the Navy Yard, now that wouldn't be our district, but it'd be in the area. That's another 10,000 jobs.
Right.
So Navy shipbuilding would be a game changer. But
instantly.
instantly.
Yeah.
Now the other game change that I've also pushed is that we have this thing called the high-speed line. You know, the Patco high-speed line.
Right.
It is the gold standard of mass transit systems in the country. It
Right.
predates the Washington Metro system. It predates the one out in San Francisco.
Right.
It's a terrific system.
They all looked at us. They all looked at that as their
Their
model. Right.
It was a precursor.
Right.
When they first created the DRPA back in the 50s, they had talked about 3 different lines. They talked about Lindenwold, they talked about Glassboro, they talked about Morristown.
Right.
Only one was built.
Right.
It's not been expanded since it opened in '69. So I propose we've got to do full Patco to Glassboro. The tracks are, I mean, the right of way is there to Glassboro.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. Not lights, not diesel light rail. That you could call that low speed. You know, the kind of rail they have that goes up to Trenton.
Right.
You don't build that kind of line down to Glassboro. It's low speed. It's inconvenient. You got to transfer in Camden. You need Patco full high-speed line to Glassboro. And then in the Philly side, you've got extended out to 30th Street Station and University City. So you'd be able to go from CHOP and Penn Medicine down to Rowan.
Yeah.
One stop.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, listen, you're really speaking to me because I graduated from Rowan.
Right.
So there were a lot of times where that would have been really helpful to have some direct access to Glassboro because right now there's none. You're transferring buses, you're doing all sorts of different things to use that public transportation to get down there. If there's a rail line that goes right there, man, you're speaking to a lot of people here.
Well, you have a whole corridor there, down there to Glassboro corridor, just ripe for development and economic growth. This would be a catalyst to that.
That area is growing already in leaps and bounds. It's huge.
And then you would also connect the eds and meds of Philadelphia, all the eds and meds in Philadelphia with all the eds and meds in South Jersey.
Interesting.
It's a win-win for everybody, for both Philly and both South Jersey. It would tie the region closer together. And also with Patco, we would suggest that we get New Jersey Transit out of the Atlantic City line.
Okay.
And let Patco run that line to Atlantic City.
Okay.
If you run the New Jersey Transit line, it takes like an hour and 40 minutes from 30th Street Station. It only runs every 2 hours. It's New Jersey Transit's least poorest performing service.
Oh.
Let New Jersey Transit take their locomotives and trains, put them to better use in North Jersey, but let Patco take that line over. So you'd have, service between the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia and Atlantic City Convention Center. You're tying these cities in these urban areas closer together.
I mean, the train ride should be an hour, right?
Should be an hour. You would have with Patco, it would be a little more than an hour from 8th to Market.
Okay.
A little more than an hour, but not much. It was an hour. 100 years ago, it was an hour.
Right.
Or 100 years ago, when the Reading and Pennsylvania shore lines, it was an hour from Camden.
Okay, that's listen, there's so much work that could be done, and we are going to run out of time. I know we are, right?
We are.
I'm already up against.
We could come again.
Yeah, I'm already up against a break, so I got to take a quick one. But everybody, hang there. I got to tell you guys about it, and I want Mr. Patterson to tell you because there was a meeting last week, and it's about labor and it's about working and all that stuff. It's about jobs. So you have to hear this story. It's just so unbelievable that stuff like this still happens. So hang through the break. We'll be right back here on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, that's right. And Mr. Patterson was just singing the tune as that commercial was running. This is great. We're here on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network, and we're talking to 1st District Congressional candidate Bob Patterson on the Republican side. Now, I got to ask you about your tagline, because the tagline is very similar to a tagline, as people will know, you're running on the platform of making South Jersey great again. Mm-hmm. Now, I have to ask you, is it simply because of the Republican ticket? Or is there a support? Have you thrown your support behind Mr. Trump?
Well, keep in mind that "Make America Great." Bill Clinton used that line quite a bit when he ran for president in the '90s. Mm-hmm. Ronald Reagan used that in his first election in 1980. And it has some similarities to Trump. I am the Republican nominee for the 1st District, mm-hmm. and I have, ever since I was of voting age, I have always supported the Republican nominee mm-hmm. for president. And in this particular year, we have a candidate who got the biggest vote ever from an expanded Republican primary electorate. Mm-hmm. So I do support, Mr. Trump. Okay. And I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with necessarily his style. Mm-hmm. But he is exactly right on these issues of trade, manufacturing, the trade deals, securing our border. He's mm-hmm. exactly right on these things, particularly on TPP. I guarantee if Hillary Clinton is elected, she will see to it that TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, is passed. And the TPP is really like NAFTA on steroids.
Okay, so the jobs go.
The jobs, it's going to be worse than ever. So Trump, on the trade issues in TPP, Trump is the only one we can depend on who's going to block TPP. Okay. And of course, Hillary is tied in with the big banks. She basically owes TPP to Goldman Sachs. Okay. And so she's really in the pocket of the big banks. Trump is not in the pocket of the big banks. So I do support Mr. Trump. However, my agenda really is focused on South Jersey. I've laid out a very detailed plan. Yeah. How to bring manufacturing jobs back to South Jersey. How to deliver for the average voter in South Jersey that's been neglected by the political class mm-hmm. for the last 25 years. And I put Hillary in that political class. I mean, she's been a part of the elite for 25 years. And so she's not going to deliver for South Jersey. She won't. Right. So the only manufacturing, Navy shipbuilding, PATCO expansion is going to be able to deliver for South Jersey.
Well, and what I liked about your plan was all laid out really nicely on your website. So if you wanted to give your website, everybody can check that out and read your plan there.
BobPattersonForCongress.com.
Yeah, and you can check them out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those as well. Stuff. It's all there, and it's really a detailed plan. Now, guys, you know me. I try to I try to be a little bit like Switzerland. I don't want to go like too hard either way, but I want to give everybody the opportunity to be able to talk about their side of things. But I heard something that happened last week, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So you're the Republican nominee for Congress, right?
And I'm a pro-trade union Republican.
Right.
Like Eisenhower.
Right.
Like Nixon, like Reagan. They were all pro-trade union Republicans.
Yeah, so there's a meeting that's going on, and it was last Wednesday night, is that correct? I think it was
Last Wednesday night.
Last
Mhm.
Wednesday night. And it's got a whole bunch of like initials, right? It's one of those union things where it's got like the IOU, whatever.
It was the operating engineers PAC meeting.
Okay. So Mr. Patterson goes to the meeting. He wants to see what's going on there. He's trying to maybe be able to say a few words to some of the guys that are in the leadership over there. And why don't you tell everybody what happened?
Well, we went up, they had their meeting, it's an annual PAC meeting, last Wednesday up in East Brunswick. And my communications director tried to get an invitation for us to go. We didn't hear back from the union. But we went up there and we took our palm cards and we greeted many of the rank and file workers who were attending. And, you know, on the way into the hotel, we talked to a lot of people out in the lobby. And then we followed them as the reception area was opened. I guess that was the official part of where the meeting was. And we went into the reception area and, you know, we talked to some more people. And then shortly thereafter, someone came over to us and said, you know, this is an invite-only event. You'll have to leave, and you'll have to leave the premises and keep walking. So they did not want us there. My understanding is that other candidates were allowed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know who, you know, we weren't there that long, so I wasn't able to see exactly who was there. But we were clearly not wanted there, even though I made it clear that my plan for manufacturing jobs, and my plan basically estimates conservatively 50,000 manufacturing jobs for South Jersey. And most of those jobs would be union jobs. Not all of them, but most of them.
Right.
So I would think this would be something that the operating engineers would be interested in.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we weren't welcome, so we left.
Yeah.
We
You didn't cause a scene.
We didn't want to cause a
That's
scene.
important for
We
people
were
to
not.
know.
We were not invited.
Right.
And if I had a party and I didn't invite people, I don't, you know, what asked
You understand, but at the same time, other candidates were allowed to kind of be there, and that's the thing that I don't like about it is that it's the equal time thing. It's the fair time. It's just that, look, if you're going to allow one, allow the other, and hear what everybody has to say and make your own determination. Because look, 50,000 jobs in South Jersey. That changes the game
Absolutely.
Immediately. Whether they're union jobs or not, honestly. If 50,000 people who are working tomorrow that aren't working today, that immediately changes the game. And these are important things for people to be able to talk about. And if you don't get the chance to be able to talk to the guys who are actually going to be filling these jobs, then it's going to be at a real disadvantage to really get the word out there of how you want to spur Jersey's economy.
Absolutely.
Because it's so important to do
Well,
so.
and here's the kicker. Really, when you look at Hillary Clinton, the people pushing globalist economy and globalism and the trade deals, which has largely outsourced all these manufacturing, mostly union jobs, are not friends of the rank and file union worker.
Right. Right.
And so I see the problems of the last 25 years as a problem of this push toward globalism.
Yes.
And it has really hurt the average worker and particularly the union workers. The decline of American manufacturing in this country. I think we've lost between 6 and 8. I don't know the exact number. We've lost between 6 and 8 million manufacturing jobs in the last 25 years. An awful lot of those are union jobs.
Yeah.
And right now we have, I think, a number of between 6 and 8 million men between the ages of 25 and 55 who are out of the workforce not working. It's an interesting one-on-one correspondence.
Yeah, that's a really tough number to hear. It really is, because look, we know that when people are working, everything gets improved because they're making more money. They're spending more money. Everyone's quality of life gets raised. And this is kind of the things that people need to understand and pay attention to, that you can't let your blind partisan politics drive you all of the time. You have to really look and see what's going on. And I have an important question for you that involves the casino industry. What do you think about this proposition that they want to put these casinos up in North Jersey? I think I know where you stand.
I will vote against it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to kill. I mean, Atlantic City is already in trouble.
Yeah.
It's only going to kill it. And we really don't want to expand casino gambling for several reasons, but particularly because we want to keep Atlantic City, at least give Atlantic City
A
some
chance.
a
Yeah.
chance. My Patco speed line will help Atlantic City.
Absolutely.
Now, and Atlantic City needs to do a lot more, but the Patco speed line to AC will help Atlantic
good
City.
start.
Opening casinos in North Jersey will not.
No. And I can kind of piggyback off of that. And I kind of knew where you stood because I think it's just ridiculous that they would want to do that.
Well,
but
again, if I can add it, again,
Sure.
we can't grow an economy. We can't help New Jersey through expanding casino gambling. Casino gambling doesn't really produce anything.
Oh, right.
It doesn't make anything.
yeah, except that remember in the 70s when they told you that it was.
Well, it was
right?
supposed to. And the point is, we need to grow industries and sectors that actually generate economic growth, wealth creation, and jobs.
Right.
And only the manufacturing section is what we have to expand
Right.
throughout North Jersey, not casino gambling.
Yeah. Now.
And what you need to go down to go down in Atlantic City and spend money
Right.
on anything, you got to make it first.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if you're not making it, all the casinos in the world aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, because Atlantic City is your entertainment budget, right? It's money that you're using to have fun and to enjoy yourself with. If you can't afford to keep your electricity on, you don't have the money
to go to Atlantic City.
to go to Atlantic City, right? But here's an issue that's kind of connected to that I wanted to ask you about, and that's the legalized sports gambling. How do you
Okay.
feel about that?
That's a very good question about legalized sports betting. I'm probably skeptical of it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not necessarily.
It's a tough thing because a lot of the supporters say, look, if we had legalized gambling in Atlantic City, all of those dollars wouldn't be going to Las Vegas during the Super Bowl and the big events. That we can keep that money right here in New
Atlantic City,
Jersey, in
right,
Atlantic
okay.
City. Now, the people on the other side say, we don't want to open that can of worms. This is going to create more problems than it's worth. It's going to change the entire dynamic of what we already have. Now, some of those other people are saying that might not be a bad thing. It's a tough. It's
You know,
kind of a tough call.
I haven't looked extensively into the legalized sports venue, and if I can take a pass on it, let me
Yeah, of
take a
course.
pass on it.
You
Come
know
back
what?
another time and talk about it.
And that's the thing. You say, listen, we'd love to have you come back. So if that's something that maybe you want to read up on and see, because right now it's in limbo. There's no. I don't think there's anything happening. There's no votes coming up about it. That happened
Yeah.
in the past. So, I'm just interested to see because in my mind, I think that it's an economic win.
Okay.
I don't gamble on sports. I have a lot of vices. I do a lot of bad things, right? But I don't gambling on
We all
sports.
have
isn't
vices.
one
We
of
all
them,
have our
right?
vices.
But gambling on sports isn't one of them. So I just think that if it can help the economy, I want it to happen, right? I want New Jersey to win, and if that helps New Jersey win, then so be it.
Well, I think long term, and not quick fixes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to recover domestic manufacturing.
Yeah.
Because if we're not making anything, a city, a state that doesn't make complex things like ships, pharmaceuticals, steel,
Right.
electronics, we're not making those things.
Right.
We're not growing an economy, and we're not delivering economic tangibles, so that some people can go down to Atlantic City and spend some money.
Right. Right. And it's the truth. And you talk about that. Remember RCA?
Remember, RCA used to have 23 or 25 factories, 24 factories in Camden.
Yeah.
That was the high-tech center of of the country.
The country.
High-end electronics. We've got to recover high-end electronics. We should not. Our military should not be relying upon Japan for its high-end electronics.
Right.
You've got to do it here.
Yeah. We have the capability.
We have the capability.
Yeah.
And-
So,
hey,
I'm sorry. Yeah, we got to take another break.
Take a break, okay.
I'm going to take a break, but then when we come back, we're gonna get real down and dirty, right? We're gonna talk about some taxes and stuff
Okay.
like that, right? We have to, unfortunately.
Wonderful.
All right. I love it. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network with the Republican nominee for Congress, Bob Patterson. Stick around.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Okay, Michael.
All right, welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook. This is Bob Patterson. He's running for Congress in the 1st District here in South Jersey. And we've had a great conversation so far. I got a few minutes to talk with him. And, you know, we kind of teased it. Maybe we can have you back and spend a few more minutes, again, maybe in the future. But let's talk about some of the issues that are happening in New Jersey right now. The biggest one, I think, is probably this gas tax.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. What's going to happen? Let's backtrack for a second. Tell me what happened a couple weeks ago, and then tell me what's going to be happening coming up here and what you think is going to happen with this gas tax.
Well, here's the whole dilemma with the gas tax, is that we are sending to Washington every year about $23 billion that we don't get back. Mm-hmm. New Jersey for 40 years has been at the bottom of the list of states in terms of what we get back from Uncle Sam or from Congress. Virginia's at the very top. Virginia gets $100 billion more back in terms of federal spending than it gives in taxes. We are shortchanged $23 billion every year. The last year that I have data for is 2010. Now, just for comparison, that $23 billion that we're shortchanged for is almost the same amount of money that all the residents in the state pay in property taxes. Okay. So we're shortchanged from Uncle Sam, or from Congress, it's really Congress, about the same amount of money we pay in property taxes. That's what we're shortchanged. So we have the highest property taxes, among the highest property taxes in the country.
Right.
And we're at the bottom of the states in terms of getting federal dollars back. And so my sense is, why raise the gas tax when we should be getting more money from the federal government? New Jersey has a deal with gasoline. People come to New Jersey to buy gas.
Right.
Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York. It's a place to buy gas. It gives us a break. Why raise the gas tax? I understand there's a need to fill that trust fund. But for 40 years, we have not been working to get the money back from Uncle Sam that we deserve to get.
Is there a way to do that?
Well, one of my ways is that my program of expanding PATCO. I also have laid out huge infrastructure improvements of South Jersey, twin span of the Walt Whitman Bridge, a whole widening of the 7642 corridor that goes down to Atlantic City Expressway, widening 295, And I have proposed, as people of both parties have proposed, the setting up of a federal infrastructure bank that would give 0% loans to states and municipalities to do infrastructure projects.
Well, this is important.
So that would, in a sense, solve the problem of the trust fund in New Jersey rather than raising the tax.
Right.
So if that helps in terms of the way I would go about trying to fix the roads in New Jersey, we've got to create a federal infrastructure bank, and we have to get that $23 billion
back somehow.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so,
that's a lot of money.
So let me just make sure that I've got this straight, right? Because the property taxes are very high. Everybody knows that. The one thing about people talking about leaving New Jersey is that they're doing it because of the property taxes, because they're so high. So you're saying that the money is already there. The money to improve the roads and the infrastructure, because that's how they're positioning the gas tax, that's what it's going to do. It's going to fix your roads. It's going to fill all the potholes. Everybody, right? We're all going to be driving down these newly paved roads with trees everywhere, and the birds will be chirping, right? And that's what's going to happen with it. This gas is going to go up a quarter overnight, right? And
28 cents.
And that's what they're going to say that's going to happen. Now, what you're saying is that the money is there. You're already paying for that in your property taxes.
Well, not necessarily in your property taxes, but it's not that the money's right there, but the point is we're shortchanged by Congress every year about $23 billion. I would go after that money and find a way to get that money back from Uncle Sam.
Oh, is that you
that's
on the floor? Is that like you on the floor being like, yo?
I would push the Federal Infrastructure Bank. I haven't thought exactly my strategy, but we have to find a way to bring back more money from Washington.
Yeah.
Because we have been a payer state for a long time.
Well, I don't
and
think
we've been
people realize
shortchanged.
that. Yeah.
We've been shortchanged on infrastructure money. We've been shortchanged on a host of things. That's why we need Navy shipbuilding in Camden. That would help with that. That would help balance that ledger as well.
Well, I mean, look, we are one of the oldest states in the union. Our infrastructure needs revitalization.
Absolutely.
It's just that simple. Listen, I live in Pennsauken. I tell everybody, I'm a very honest way. Look, it's a big town. You could come try to find me if you really want to. I don't think you want to, but look, the roads in that area, they need help. They need work. They're 25-mile-an-hour roads. It feels like the car is going to.
But see, the deteriorating infrastructure is all a consequence of a broken economy that we've had for 25 years. It all started, as I said, in the 90s with NAFTA, and the position of the leadership of both parties. Both parties have done this, that put all their hope in globalist trade and high finance to grow the economy, and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked. If we revive those sectors like defense industries, transportation infrastructure, and domestic manufacturing, we will have better infrastructure and better roads.
Yeah, your plan is on BobPattersonForCongress.com, and it's got like, honestly, there was so much stuff on there. By the time I got to the end, I was like, man, he's got so much he wants to do, and it's also well thought out and well laid out that if anybody just goes to the website, they're going to be able to see all of your stuff. And I think it's important because, look, your opponent, people probably know his name. Okay, and I want to worry about Bob Patterson, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. If he wants to come on, I will talk to him in the same manner that I talk to you, because again, it's equal and it's fair and all of that. But you've got an uphill battle to fight for the next 4 weeks.
I do.
And I want people to understand that, look, you're a Republican, but you're not like every other Republican. You have your own ideas, you have your own thoughts, and you have a game plan to really bring both sides together to make sure that the state of New Jersey and South Jersey specifically gets the attention and the funding it deserves. So here's what I want you to do. As the old Philadelphia Eagles football coach used to say towards the end of his press conference, the time is yours. So I want you to look into camera 3, and I want you to just tell everybody anything you want to tell them. I'll shut up for a few seconds. You give them the website. You can give them your platform. You can give them whatever you want, Mr. Patterson. The time is yours.
Well, thank you, Mark.
You're quite welcome. My pleasure.
My last few words here would be, if you want to bring Navy shipbuilding to Camden, if you want to rebuild our roads, if you want to expand Patco to Glassboro and the 30th Street Station in Philadelphia, if you want a twin span of the Walt Whitman Bridge and a widening of that corridor, the 4276 corridor plus I-295, vote for Bob Patterson for Congress on November 8th. Or if you're voting by mail, please vote please vote for me by mail or in person on Election Day. Remember, I'm not a career politician. This is my first run for public office. I'm not a career politician. I don't have a lot of money behind me. I will fight for South Jersey. I will fight for manufacturing jobs that will provide good wages for the average middle-income family. So please look at my website, bobpattersonforcongress.com. Check out my vision for how to bring 50,000 jobs to South Jersey and how to make South Jersey great again by bringing jobs to the average people of South Jersey. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, it's really, I want to thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me this morning. This was great.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure that everybody caught that, okay? Because look, you know, the interviewer probably should have asked this question, and I could have made a nice big deal about it, but that career politician thing, that's kind of important because he's not one of them, right? He just told you, first run
time
for office. That's really important to somebody like me, and I think to a lot of people out there, because you know what we see a lot of are those career politicians. And I think that the Senate race in Pennsylvania is the biggest example of it, with the millions of dollars that they're spending to advertise on me in South Jersey, right? I can't even vote for either one of those two people, and I'm not going to mention them because honestly, I'm so sick of hearing their names. But we don't want the career politicians anymore. We want the people that care about the communities that they come from. And you are that candidate from South Jersey.
Mark, I am fed up with what the career politicians, what the political class, the reigning political class has done to South Jersey. And I want to bring the South Jersey back that I remember growing up as a kid, and even when I was first married, when we bought our first house. But back in the 80s, jobs were plentiful for the lineman and the middle manager alike. And we've got to bring jobs to South Jersey and resurrect this, rebuild the whole region and rebuild its economy and enable to deliver for the average voter.
I think it's a good plan, and I think everybody should check that plan out on bobpattersonforcongress.com. You make your own decisions, and we're just glad that we were able to bring you Mr. Patterson this morning so that he could give his opportunity to be able to tell you about where he's coming from and why you should vote for him. So thank you very much,
Mark,
sir.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, and listen, I have to take you up on that offer to come back.
We'll come back
anytime.
We'll come back anytime.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I got to take a quick break here on Morning Coffee, but I'm going to be right back in a few moments. So don't go anywhere here on the Radio Vision Network.